Hansen here. Today I was really mulling over the idea of time and triggers. The element of time is very interesting because each of us experiences time in a very subjective way. As I watch my neighbors and as they walk down the street or as they take care of tasks around their house, I see very clearly that some neighbors have a rhythm in their movements, in the way that they go about tasks, that is very predictable, very set. It's like a metronome. And the message that some have in their heads is we're running out of time, so hurry up. It's also interesting to watch people who have a kind of, where am I, Mexico? And their rhythm as they walk down the sidewalk is very relaxed. Their bodies are very relaxed. They have all the time in the world. And they will stop and look at my plants, and they will look at the clouds. And last night when I was walking, a couple came out and stood on their front step, and they were yelling out into the atmosphere, "It's so beautiful," about the sunset. And I was just thinking about how for them, they had the time to really get into that emotional reaction of the beauty of nature because their metronome was set at a different rhythm. So if we can get to a place where we're actually observing our thoughts about how we think about time, we're running out of it, we have to catch it. The trick of this is that these people are going to make sure that their entire lives are too much. They're going to enroll in too many classes. They're going to try and take on too many tasks. They're going to, expect of themselves too much perfection in everything they do so that they can keep themselves in this state of ramped up or revved up. Because basically it's the state itself that they are seeking. So as we look at one another, we have to realize that we're on different planets. Our belief systems are different. Our sense of rhythm is different. Our metronome is clicking at a different rate than other people's. And it's really fascinating to watch how people do that. One of the things that I've been working on over the last decade is because my family has work addiction, I am using my mindfulness practice to look at my desire to run around like a wind-up toy and to achieve this adrenalized virtue of look at what I got done today, as opposed to stepping back and staying in mindfulness. And what I can report, which is kind of cool, is when you step back and use mindfulness for everything that comes up, every thought, every urge, every addiction, where you get is you get to a place where you create more time. There is something called the mulling over state. There is the checking your body. There is the asking the universe, how does this feel if I do this? And I've often noticed that the best frontline workers, emergency, people, paramedics, people who I've seen interviews with that disarmed bombs in their life, they seem a little slow. And the reason for that is because they are making sure that they are not muddying the scene. They're not in a place where the urge to be fast, to react rapidly, is the thing that's driving them. They are actually asking the question, does this serve me? Does this serve my goal? And so I think that that's very important in today's world as we head into the COVID spreading more vastly and wildly, and as we head into new social structuring that is beyond anything that we have experienced in the past. We're now to a place where we can say, I'm staying out of fear. I'm staying out of anxiety. I check my breath. Am I breathing deeply? I check my shoulders. Are my shoulders back and down? I check my sleeping. Is my sleeping peaceful? These are the signs that you're not crazy. You're not in a state of high anxiety, like running around like a puppy trying to find where the stick was thrown. Because when we're in a state of fear, when we're in a state of anxiety, what we do is we become susceptible for social signaling. We will follow what other people are doing as a survival strategy or tactic. We're set up to do this. But we have to be very careful when the people around us are in a state where they're not using their prefrontal lobes. They're not staying adult. They are just doing something to make themselves feel better. We know that people who go to restaurants right now are 50% more likely to get COVID. But I see all the time on social media, the 5 or 10 of us went to a restaurant. And I ask myself, how can this happen? But I know exactly how this can happen because we're relying on other people around us to choose the behavior that will seem okay for us. And I had a behavioral scientist professor who teaches in Singapore and Hong Kong staying in my house, and he was talking to me about acculturation. Acculturation means when a particular society or culture or city starts to adopt other cultural habits, starts to adopt a new way of reacting to situations. And he said it takes about 4 years for a culture to shift to a new manner or methodology of interacting. And he experienced it when he was in Hong Kong, and they had virulent disease sweeping through, and it took a while for people to adapt to the idea that wearing a mask can save your life. But if we extrapolate that to everything, if we come to a place where we're waiting for the average adopting of good behaviors in a society, what we're doing is we're giving up our place of leadership. The place of leadership comes from someone who is very calm and has sat back and studied and been mindful, and they can go into a situation where they disarm a mine or they're the paramedic that shows up at the accident and does just the right thing. So we can seek to fit in, we can seek to feel safe because we're doing just what other people want to do, or we can have as our goal growth, personal growth, learning, and the bigger goal is being an example to other people about how to go through stressful times gracefully. And what that means is it means watching your own behavior and giving yourself space and time to do what you begin to understand serves humanity the absolute most effective way. Thank you.